we're a little bit biased here on the Cranky Ducklings, as one of our own is playing, but Starkiller has been on fire. You know, he's an amazing player in his own right. He's very aggressive, very chaotic. This could go either way, and here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Crimson Court. We have the American Terran player himself representing the Cranky Ducklings. Quack, Poppy, quack. It is Dolan. He's one of our own, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Zerg player, the Teal Zerg, representing Match Arena Esports. It is Starkiller. Starkiller, a veteran of the scene, has been around for many, many years, but did retire for a while. He went on hiatus for a couple of years, actually, and did recently return to StarCraft, to competitive play. I want to say he returned during the DreamHack Dallas qualifiers. I remember seeing him. I remember getting really excited. I was like, yo, the return to Starkiller? Are you back? And he's like, oh, you know, he's just playing here and there, just laddering a little bit. And then the weeks go by, the months go by, and he suddenly plays in more tournaments. It's like, yo, are we back? So it's great to see Starkiller return, even so much so to actually go to an offline event like this at Cheeseadelphia. So really cool to see Starkiller returning to competitive form and looking quite good. Looking quite good. But we'll see how he compares, as Dolan is going for a 2-Rax Reaper build. Let's go. It's going to be 2-Rax Reaper. We've seen a lot of this from Dolan over the past day of StarCraft. We've seen either 2-Rax Reaper or mech. Like we've also seen a lot of mech from Dolan as well. So this is a bit of a forewarning ahead of time. If you don't want to see mech, then you might want to look away at some points in this series. Bit of a trigger warning, if you will. But for now, it's going to be Via. It's going to be Via play 2-Rax Reaper. The goal here is to contain, is to delay the expansion, delay the third base for as long as we can, maybe even pick off a couple of workers. And we have seen historically, or so far here in today's broadcast, Dolan does typically follow this up with our expansion into a 3rd and 4th Rax, into a 4-Rax stim timing. That's typically where he leads us. We'll see if that's the case here against Starkiller in Game 1. We'll see if we do follow up with that 4-Rax. For now, first Reaper's moving out, getting across the map. Starkiller, of course, getting ready. Queens are on the way. Our initial Lings have already popped out, and the dance has begun. The dance between the Reaper and the Lings. So far, so good. Drone under fire and up. The drone thankfully does more from the gas geyser. Do save it. Second Reaper has arrived. Once again, dancing with those Lings. Queen now popping out. No major damage done yet, but one drone does fall. And we are just containing our opponent to 2 bases. Still no 3rd in sight. And behind this, there is the 2nd and 3rd Rax, as we did mention. Again, we did cast quite a bit of Dolan's TvZ earlier. If you weren't here for it, Dolan played against Epic, and Epic off-raced as Zerg. Didn't play as Terran, but did off-race, and we were able to feature that. Meanwhile, Starkiller going for a very fast Evo chamber and not pulling out of gas. Okay. Get my attention. The Queen! No! One more shot. The Queen does go down. Reapers barely escape. One of them so low. And it looks like we should shut down at least one of those Reapers. The Queen is on the hunt, and yeah, we do get the snipe. But still, pretty worthwhile trade. 1 Reaper for 1 Queen. Meanwhile, in the main base, that is going to be +1 Carapace on the way. Now we pull out of gas. But an interesting choice here from Starkiller as we lead off 2 more workers. Link speed kicks in, and we shut down the Reapers. Whew. Starkiller does shut this down, is mining through those gold mineral patches, looking to expand and take the linear 3rd base, but behind this, Dolan is building up towards his stim timing. Marines are banking up, stim is on the way. And this is going to hit like a truck. What will Starkiller have to defend? I'm curious if we embrace Roaches, or if we go Ling Bane. Carapace does kind of lean towards a more melee-heavy composition with Ling Bane, but we'll see. As Starkiller is typically one to embrace Roach play. Typically. Rocks are being knocked down. We have a safety spine crawler on the way here for Starkiller, as he is still just droning up. That's actually a wall of spine crawlers. Okay. I mean, that's a way to deal with this, I guess. Now, what's important here, because of the map layouts, it's a little bit difficult to gain access to the 3rd base. You know, there are rocks, there are mineral patches as well. It can be quite awkward, especially without medevacs to push in, which means I guess we can afford to pull off events like this one. So an interesting move here from Starkiller. We'll see if it works out. as there is only really one angle of attack. Meanwhile, Dolan scanning the main base does confirm the Evo chamber, second Evo chamber on the way as well. Miyamika, is that you? I remember Miyamika had a certain build where he rushed into +2 carapace, if you remember. He would go Mass Link Bane with fast +2 carapace. And this is reminding me of Miyamika a little bit, not gonna lie. As Starkiller is just heavily droning up, saturating his third. Does have a couple of links sprinkled in. And here we go, Dolan does move out across the map. He's got stim of his own, and can he break this position with 20 more links in production? Starkiller, it looks like he will have them just in time. Yeah, the spine crawlers have been spotted, and Dolan, he wants none of this. Does rotate around, knocking down the rocks, looking to make his way towards a third. At the same time, Starkiller going for a massive counterattack. Oh, no, never mind. Setting up for a surround. Does turn back around, does come across the Marines. Starkiller does spot them, and we can reposition the spine crawlers. We could. For now, we're keeping them in. There we go. We're going to be repositioning one of them at least towards the third. But it's still on the way. Still on the way. Plus one carapace is done. No bailings, though. Just pure ling. Marines, they push forward. They haven't stimmed yet. Dolan holding on. Doesn't want to waste it. It's preserving that stim. Starkiller keeping up. And does come across the army. We have to be careful. Have to respect the bio. Fourth base on the way. Dolan backs up. And behind this, we're working towards a +1, towards our medevacs, of course, to get into drop play. Third CC's on the way. And with the arrival of these medevacs, we can start to threaten the main. The main base, the third, the fourth even. We'll see where Dolan does take us. Where he does move out. Meanwhile, so far, Starkiller, right? Rushing into +2. I mean, +1, to be fair. We did delay +2 for a little bit. So we're waiting for the lair. Well, Dolan moving out, this time with 2 tanks. Still just the one spine crawler in position, and tanks are going to be sieging up. And nice positioning here behind the wall, behind the rocks. Starkiller getting ready for potentially a surround. Does rotate around, will collapse on top of the first tank. Yeah, the tank is gonna fall, nothing in position. No defense, we have broken the base. The hatchery is gonna go down. We will pick off another tank though, not quite. Tank is safe, third base goes down. Starkiller does have the fourth, does have mining. And Dolan is yet to confirm. Dolan checks the triangular third, looking for an expansion. Little does he know that Starkiller is main-nutting over. It does take the fourth base with Dolan. He's about to find it. No! The drop comes in. Dolan, he does find the expansion. And Marines, they will land in the middle of the mineral line. Leagues are in position. At the same time, Dolan pushing into the main. Bane speed about to finish up. Unable to drop in. Starkiller, he is holding on. Doesn't have the best economy, but holding on nonetheless. Oof. As the Queens do overextend. Drop towards the third base. Again, this setup is so awkward. Like, but we do collapse on top of the tank. Nice cleanup. The tank and the Marines go down. Not a bad fight there for Starkiller. But he's losing so many drones here. We don't pull away. Oh my god. 13, 14, 15 drones go down. This Liberator popping up here at the fourth. And with that, the economy here for Starkiller is crippled. We're down to 35 workers. Dropping to the main. Liberator as well. We're not done, and we're forcing the all in. It's all or nothing for Starkiller. That's 20 Banelings on the way. That's a lot of Banelings. But back at home, can we break this position? We have tanks, we have SimCity, a tank on the high ground as well. I don't think we have enough. I mean, that is a lot of Banelings, but there's a lot to break through. Yeah, freedom has arrived. We do break through into the natural. Decent Baneling connections. Yeah, we're getting on top of the Marines, but again, the choke point is brutal. We go for the mineral line. Up. 10 workers go down. That's good, but not good enough. As Starkiller is being cleaned up, GG gets called, and Dolan takes game number 1. GG. Not gonna lie, I feel uneasy after that game. Like, I felt a little bit lost. I was like, what's happening right now? We're like taking a Gigafast 4th base. It's kind of like a pseudo ninja base, rushing into +1 carapace. I felt very uneasy. But GG, well played. Dolan does take it. Starkiller, he's crazy, man. He's crazy. That's why we love him. That's why we appreciate him. Yeah. GG, as Dolan does take the first game. But as a reminder, it's a best of 5, and I don't expect to see many more games quite like that. I'll be honest. Like, there was an interesting setup there from Starkiller, opening up +1 carapace with a wall of spine crawlers into our expansion pattern. It was interesting, to say the least. But now we're going to be settling into a bit of a more standard map here. We're going to be loading into Site Delta as Game 2. Let's go. Let's go. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our American Terran player. The blue Terran representing the Cranky Ducklings leading the series 1-0. It is Dolan. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the American Zerg player, the Teal Zerg, representing Matcherino Esports. Down in the series, but it's the best of 5. Plenty more games ahead of us. It is Starkiller. We go. So now we are settling in. Gonna be a 15 hatch opener here out of Starkiller. Looks like a 15-15. Bit of a safer build from our Zerg player. I mentioned before that we often see this against Protoss to get our expansion up and running in time. Against Terran, this is a little bit more ideal against 2-Rax Reaper. We just saw it in game 1, and it looks like Dolan is going for it again in game number 2. So 2-Rax Reaper, 2 games in a row here from Dolan. And with this earlier spawning pool, we're going to be able to get earlier queens and hopefully have a cleaner defense early on here for Starkiller. There's a bit of a give and take. The spawning pool is earlier with this opener, but the gas is later, means later link speed and later aggression, but earlier queens means ideally a safer defense. Ideally. Does or will still come down to the execution. So Dolan is getting into his build once again. Similarly to the previous game, I also expect this to be 2-Rax Reaper into a 4-Rax follow-up, into a stim timing. We saw that Starkiller did handle himself relatively well in the last game to be able to survive that timing and get into a longer game, but we'll see how he handles this on a map like Site Delta, where your third base is more exposed than the third on Crimson Court, for example. So we'll have to take a different approach. For now, first Reaper's moving out. The Overlord does dip in to confirm the opener, does confirm both Raxes. Starkiller is aware, and Dolan is moving out. Dolan's going to be moving out. We do evacuate the low grounds. Queen is on the way. For now, just droning up, taking both gases to catch up, I imagine, in that gas income. Oh. As the Reaper takes a lot of damage. Oh my god, one shot away from going down. Does back off, does evacuate. Dolan does survive. And so far, Starkiller defending well. Not taking any big losses. Has taken 2 gases. This is a way to catch up when it comes to link speed. We could even double down and go for roaches. I'm curious where exactly we invest this gas into. Where we head. As the Reapers, they do try to push forward, getting onto the Queen. Second Queen is on the way, but still not done. And the Queen is under fire. We pick off 1 drone, a second drone as well. We didn't break the Queen, but 2 workers, pretty good. Oh, he wants the Queen. He wants it. Oh, so close. Dolan does pull away. The Queen barely survives. And here's that follow-up. Once again, 4-Rax. 4-Rax stim timing here for Dolan. The same build 2 games in a row. And we'll see how Starkiller will adjust. For now, we have an abundance of gas. I was about to say, like, we've got a lot of resources in the bank here, and we're going into a lair. And it's going to be immediately scouted by Dolan. Dolan, he does confirm. Does get eyes on the lair. Picks up a drone. Gets a second drone as well. That's 4 in total. top of that, double Evo chamber, no Roach Warren yet. I'm curious here. Do we take 2 more gases? Do we go 2 base Muta, for example? Do we get into Roach production? There we go, Roach Warren on the way behind the mineral line. Because it's being hidden, maybe Starkiller does want to fake out something like Muta play. We'll see. For now, Roaches. Gonna be 1-1. In production, here comes that Bio Army. As Dolan is moving out. And if Starkiller's too greedy, then he may just fall here and now. For now, just saturating him 2 bases, taking 2 more gases. Roach Warren's still not done, and Dolan, he's moving out. Oh. Yeah, still about to finish in a couple of seconds. Is on the horizon. Still no 3rd base for the Zerg. Roaches are on the way. We have 3 Roaches in production, but again, have we been too greedy? Have we cut too many corners? Because there's nothing else here. No Lings, only Queens. And we're going for the kill. We're going for the natural. Boys are going to have to be pulled as drones are going down. Queens are exposed. And how many workers can we get? We get 6 workers so far. We do hold. Do hold the line. That could have been so much worse. that could have been game. 7 drone kills, and we hold on. We survive. We do survive, but we're still stuck on 2 bases. Still no 3rd in sight for Starkiller. Building up towards a 1-1 timing. There is done. Roach speed just now starting. Ooh, this Roach speed feels late for Starkiller. If we did want to hit that timing. Just now starting up. Behind this, we're pulling back. And Dolan has not really embraced a 3rd CC. There's going to be a starport on the way. Factory into starport, no 3rd CC yet. Building up towards Marauder production as we have scattered the Roaches. And Starkiller will finally expand, will finally take a 3rd. But can he hold on to it? Can he make use of it? That's the question. It's going to be the question here. 1-1 is done. Again, Roach speed still halfway completed at this point, so we're working towards 2-2. I mean, there is going to be a nice 2-2 timing here for Starkiller, but can we make it there is the question. Like, can we survive long enough to make use of our 3 bases, to make use of our upgrades? As Dolan should be the first to move out. I say that, it gets applicable for a moment. Dolan waiting for his medevacs. Medevacs have arrived. Here we go. We're going for a double jump on the right-hand side, or at least shutting down our Overlord initially. Overlord goes down. More Roaches amassing. Starkiller hasn't droned up too much. Is still heavily fixated here on Roach Ravager, just to make sure he doesn't, that he does survive. He doesn't go down. As Dolan moves out with a fake double drop. Okay, interesting. Medevacs move out, nothing inside them. I guess just for scouting information, just to keep Starkiller honest. Just spot the army. And Dolan is still building up 3rd CC, now on the way. Also quite delayed for Dolan, but I guess it's okay just because of Starkiller's late 3rd. So here we go, we do move out. We have 3 tanks, a pretty hefty Marauder count as well. Starkiller does have 3 Ravagers, has somewhat of an army. Oh, he is split up though. He's ready for drop play, and here comes the main push. Tank sieging up, we have the first him. The pile's not quite going to be connecting, and we drag the army within tank fire. So many Roaches go down, and we can break through. Ravagers are exposed, they're going down one after the other. 1 tank did fall, but Starkiller, he's in a lot of trouble here. Barely holding on. Tanks are pushing forward, getting closer and closer. We sniped 2-3 of those Ravagers. And Ravagers are denied. And as Starkiller tries to break out, he's going to bleed out so many Roaches. Yeah, better trade for Dolan. He shuts down the main army, but reinforcements have arrived. The Roaches, they trickle in just in time. And Starkiller, he's holding. Takes down the final tank. I say that, another tank has arrived. Dolan just routing across the map. Yeah, but he doesn't have enough. Starkiller holds on. Dolan has to back off. Behind this, Dolan does have a higher worker count, but it still has no third base, just now being landed on location. And we're going for a longer game. Whew. Okay. Starkiller, he holds, Bobby. He holds. We do barely hold on. I'm sure the upgrade's coming into play as well. And Dolan doesn't have to go for the kill. As I say that though, Starkiller is still making nothing but roaches. Uh-oh. As Cut Walker's at 52. No fourth base. We're moving out across the map. As the drop comes in, Starkiller is pushing towards the third. We do have reinforcements. We do have an army back at home. Meanwhile, there's not much of them to defend for Starkiller. He's committed. He's pushing in. Tank does siege, and we're going to be able to bile it down. Whilst they barely bring down the tank. Pushing into the natural. Boys are being pulled. And show us the biles. Oh! Once again, they graze the army somewhat. They do graze the army. Dolan is going to cost him 29 SCVs. Meanwhile, across the map, he's wreaking havoc. He's taking down the main base and the natural. And big tank volley's going up. Starkiller pushing into the main base. Came with the production. The biles. Once again, they don't quite connect. More boys being pulled, and things are getting chaotic. Chaos ensues on both sides. But it looks like Starkiller, he holds. He cleans up the tanks. He defends back at home. And as the dust settles, where exactly are we? Dolan lost 41 SCVs, but he's still ahead in economy. Like he's got an even worker count plus mules, which is crazy. Like that just goes to show just how far ahead Dolan was. So economically he's okay. Does survive with the Metamax, racing back. Going for another double drop. Bold move. And Dolan, yeah, he still maintains his lead. Does react quite hard here. Bit of an overreaction. Evacuates his own third. Does evacuate his third base, expecting a counterattack. But alas, the Roaches are back at home. And Starkiller, he lost his Roach Warren. He can't make Roaches. Bappy. We can saturate. We're good. Roaches are not being made. And there's no link speed. Uh-oh. No link speed here for Starkiller. He cannot reinforce. He cannot reproduce. Roaches are going down one after the other. That's all we have left. The final Roaches. They're going down one after the other. Only one Roach remaining. Dolan playing it safe. 10 Roaches in production. And we're getting more damage done. We catch a queen. Bust into the natural. Going for the hatchery itself. And the hatchery is going to fall. Even going for the Roach Warren as well once again. Yeah, ¿por qué no los dos? We get the Roach Warren and the hatchery. Dolan picking up, getting the hell out of there. Did make an extra wave of roaches, so we can hold. Behind this, Dolan resaturating, building up his marauder count, his tank count. He has a massive army, over double the army supply here of Starkiller. The base trade wasn't looking too bad for Starkiller. Did kill so many CVs, but still was not enough. Not enough in the end. And Dolan, he's just snowballing so far out of control. Stims on forward, nothing left. Boys are being pulled. But the Sea of Terran is just becoming too much. GG gets called, and Dolan takes a 2-0 lead in the semifinals. GG. GG, well played. Oh my god, very chaotic game. I mean, in general, this series has been quite chaotic between Starkiller and Dolan. Some wild builds and interesting playstyles here from both players, to be fair. But in the end, Dolan does take a lead, and one more game is all he needs to make it to the grand finals. Uno más, papi, uno más. One more game. And we'll see if Starkiller can bounce back. I mean, the pressure is on. So we're getting ready. Looks like our next game is going to be on Oceanborn. Let's go. Oh no. Starker is like, Light, you play instead. No, no. Get me out of here. Keep me away from Dolan. I don't want to hurt my boy. Cap. But But here we go. We have our final game. We're going to be loading into Oceanborn as game 3. I'm hoping this isn't where it all ends. I'm hoping we can get it back and forth. I want to believe that Starkiller can bring it back, but yeah, again, it's all on him. It's all on our Zerg player here. He needs your entry. He needs your support in the chat to make a series out of this. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our American Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing the Cranky Ducklings. One game away from making it to the Grand Finals. It is Dolan. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Zerg player from Land of the Americas, representing Match Arena Esports. It is Starkiller. And he has to fight back here and now to make a series out of this. I'm hoping we can. An ace match would be ideal, but we'll see. As once again, we're going for a 15 hatch. Oh, no, sorry, never mind. Never mind, just an extractor trick early on. Going for something a little bit different, something more aggressive. Okay, going for a gas first. Gas pool into a delayed hatchery. A much more aggressive build this time from Starkiller. With this opener, we can, of course, embrace link speed that much faster as well. We can rush into link speed. We can work towards a baling nest, even a roach rush. Regardless, gas is prioritized this time for Starkiller. Okay, we're done being the defender. It's time to be the aggressor. Meanwhile, back at home, Dolan is coming in with... Oh, no, never mind. He's going to be coming in with a standard opener. It's going to be a Rax Expand. This time, no 2 Rax Reaper from Dolan. Not this time. As our pool is getting up and running. Getting into our initial lings. SCV Scout moving out across the map. With this Scout, Dolan is going to become a little bit more aware of the aggressive nature of Starkiller. But can he confirm what the follow-up is? That's the question. As we're going for the Roach Warren. Roach Warren is on the way. Starkiller spicing things up with a Roach Rush. Let's go. How do you bounce back in Cheeseadelphia? With cheese, Bobby, with cheese, of course. Now, the scary thing about this build is, with this SCV Scout coming in, we confirmed that the hatchery is late, true, but we won't be able to confirm the follow-up tech here. Or will we? That's the question. SCV dips in, but the Lings have arrived, and the goal is to deny the Scouts. Here, the Queen does start a step forward, and do we deny the Scout? We do! SCV goes down, and we do not get eyes on the Roach Warren. It could just be Ling speed. Wait. Burrow on the way. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. Let's go. Okay, so imagine like a blink-based all-in. That's what this is. It's been a long time since we've seen this. With Burrow, the way this works, as the Roach all-in is coming, if the Roaches get low, you borrow the Roaches. You borrow the Roaches, and they regenerate their HP. Reaper goes for the Scout, and we do confirm the Roach Warren at least. Dolan is aware. He's aware somewhat of the all-in, but basically with this we have Burrow Micro. We can burrow the Roaches, keep them alive, we can regenerate HP, and then unburrow and just keep the all-in going. It's kind of like Blink, basically. It's like pseudo-Blink for Zerg. Meanwhile, Bunker on the high ground. Dolan, he's more than prepared to evacuate the low ground, evacuate the natural. We'll give up on it. Lings are getting picked up. We do confirm at least the Bunker setup. And Tank is on the way. Tank is on the horizon, and once it pops out, we can shut this down. Ravagers are being morphed in. Starkiller is droning, by the way. Let's go. Okay, we're not all in. He's droning up. How many Roaches? Only 4. 4 Roaches, 2 Ravagers, forcing a big reaction here out of Dolan. So containing is the ideal. Containing is all we need. Did we cancel? Okay, Burrow did complete. Deeper goes down. Not a bad pickup. Does supply block Dolan. Dolan responding with a fusion core. Oh my god, BCs. He's crazy. Okay, let's go. As for the time being, Dolan is supply blocked. Contained it to his 1 base. Big reaction as well, pulling a lot of boys. Behind this, of course, Starkiller just heavily droning up. And that's going to be the death of a second depot. It's so close to going down. Barely we do keep it alive. The Wilds. With the arrival of the Banshee, we will shut this down. Oh, the Burrow! Let's go! Burrow comes into play, and we even burrow underneath where the CC would land, forcing out a scan. Bearing in mind there is no tunneling clause, so the units are stuck where they are. They cannot escape, but they're going to be forcing out scans. As the orbital's on the way. Behind this, the fusion core does complete, going for a Raven first before the BC. The Raven is forced out because otherwise we would have to scan so many times. So the Raven's going to be the answer here for Dolan. Oh, the Ravager, it escapes! We get away! And force the scan as well. Yeah, a bit of a rough moment there. Force a scan, or wasting a scan even. Do land the CC. And Starkiller not in a bad position here. Working towards ling speed, droning up, getting a third base. Now the scary thing is that we haven't seen what comes next. We are aware of Banshee production, so we should be forcing out Spore Crawlers. Spore should be on the way. No BC yet. Oh, there we go, as we were supply blocked. But we should be seeing Spore Crawlers just because of the Banshees. But we're not quite ready for BCs, and if we don't make enough queens, we're going to be in trouble. We have 3 queens for the time being, about to be 4. 4 queens is okay, but not ideal against battle cruisers. We'll see. We shall see as mech is on the horizon as well. Let's go. 2 more factories on the way. BC into mech. You love to see it, Pappy. You love to see it. Meanwhile, we get across the map. Lings, they do collapse here on the Hellions. Oh! Nice control, though. We do save the Hellion. Dolan, calm down. Autotar gets thrown down, and the queens are falling. At the same time, though, we bust in across the map, and there's nothing at home. There's nothing at home to defend. We have a handful of Hellions. That's not going to be enough. SCVs are falling, and Dolan is racing back home. And before we get into mech, before we get into BCs, Starkiller is looking to tie this up. He's not going down without a fight. It's not going to be a 3-0. BC has arrived, but the Biles! Oh my god, they connect. BC a little bit slow to respond. Now we will eventually clean this up, but this is game-ending damage. We are down to 1 SCV. Did I say 1? We're down to none. 0 SCVs here for Dolan. We got a kill in the CC. Again, Dolan caught with his pants down. GG gets called, and Starkiller, he fights back. We have a series. Let's go. Oh my god. GG, well played. Starkiller forcing a bit of a reaction with his initial 4 roaches, forcing out scans, and Dolan unfortunately did commit to a massive counterattack, had nothing at home to defend, did not respect the counterattack potential of Starkiller, and alas, there was nothing at home, nothing ready for the Ling Ravager. And with that, we have a back and forth. That's all I wanted. No 3-0s. We have a back and forth. And can we go the distance? Can we even force out an ace match? That's the question. That is the question. Can we make it all the way to Game 5? Starkiller is still up against the wall. Dolan still needs only 1 more game to close this out. And our players are asking for a minute. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. You know, the pressure is high. Very tense situation here. Very tense. And it looks like we are, going to be having a couple of minutes here. So, oh my god. Starkiller, he's asking for a moment. He's asking for a bio break. And Bel Air, our lovely German caster here, he's like, wash your hands, Papi. You're dirty. Oh my god. True, true. He's an animal. Clean yourself. Duh. Well, we will take some time here to get ready for our next game. Just catching up in the chat. Catching up. What's happening? Don't feed the troll. Is there someone clowning in the chat? Also known as Rob. Yeah, Rob. Rob. Oh, there's someone crying in the chat about balance. Oh. Go back to Reddit, Poppy. Go back to Reddit. What else is happening? Duh. Bird Ravagers look weird. They do look a little bit weird. It's they look unnatural. Like they shouldn't be underground. Like I but you don't often see them. Don't often see them. There we go. But it looks like our players are getting ready. They're coming back. North American pros have their sleeves full of cheese. True, true. Always. Emergency cheese. Live VP's in, he can cast with way too little sleep. Ah, it's okay. It's 9 a.m. in the morning. How long has the cast been going? 8 hours. You know, part of me was like contemplating, should I have casted WTL? Because if you remember, a World Team League was before Cheeseadelphia, and there was no English casters. There was no one casting it in English today. And I was like, oh, I could maybe squeeze in a cast. And then I asked Kura about it. We thought better of it. We thought like, nah, we should save our energy for Cheeseadelphia. True, true. And suddenly, 8 hours later, it's like, yeah, wait. it was a good call. I would not have the energy to go like back-to-back casts. It would not happen. Wouldn't happen, Bobby. But here we go. We're getting into our next game. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of our Kione, our players are ready. And here we have our American Terran representing the Cranky Ducklings, still one game away from making it to the grand finals. Can he close it out? It is Dolan. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Zerg player. Once again, going for a gas first build. Let's go. We have representing Match Arena Esports. It is Starkiller. The Danger Dolan, the Dr. Dolan. He goes by many names. Ah, he's beautiful. And once again, it's going to be 2-Axe Reaper. Okay, we're falling back to 2-Axe Reaper here from the side of Dolan. Going to be aggressive with initially Reapers. Meanwhile, we do see Starkiller across the map going for the early gas. Now, what I appreciate from Starkiller here with this opener is that it doesn't have to be the same build. Winding it back, last game, this was for a fast Roach Warren into Burrow, into kind of a fake out all-in with 4 Roaches and 2 Ravagers, and then we just droned up. This time, we could commit. This time, we could just commit to the all-in instead. We have options with how aggressive or how we want to fake out or even commit against Dolan. For now, there's the Roach Warren. Roach Warren is on the way. For now, it does look like the same build 2 games in a row for the time being. Meanwhile, Reapers are on the way. Now, once Dolan realizes what's going on, typically the response would be for a bunker on the low ground. Ideally, the bunker outside of the natural, in front of these initial Vaxes. We pre-pull the boys, we bring out some SCVs to repair, and we get into Marauder production. I'm curious if that's where we head or if we go for a different response. We shall see. As the Reaper has arrived, we confirm the hatchery is late, the hatchery is delayed. And Dolan does pull back. He pulls back to defend against Lings, but really Roaches are on the way. Roaches are in production. That's going to be a reactor into Tech Lab. No bunker yet, which is concerning. No bunker has been thrown down. Now we can see it is actually the same build. 4 Roaches and 2 Ravagers. And we're droning. So Starkiller is indeed going for the same build 2 games in a row. Without a bunker, I'm curious how Dolan is going to be able to handle this. Reapers, they do slip past the army. They're headed for the mineral line, but there's a Queen in position. Queen is in position. The Roach Ravager does not stop. Does keep pushing. And back at home, we don't really have much to work with. I am concerned here for Dolan. I would be concerned as we are moving out. And with these Ravagers, we can pile down and we can deny Stim. Like, Stim is going to be denied. We have control of the low ground. Yeah, we're going to shut this down. Boys are being pulled, but it's a little bit too late. It's going to be close. The Wiles. Up. Yeah, they shut down the SCVs. We do barely keep it alive, though. Up. Oh, my God. Clutch control there from Dolan. Barely does maintain control of that tech lab. Boys being pulled. We have on top of the Ravagers, and we will shut this down. We get one. We get two Ravagers. And Dolan, he's holding. No, it did cost us some SCVs. It did cost us mining time, but we are holding on. And can we get the final Ravager? It's going to be close. It's so close to going down regardless. Starkiller is forced back, and Stim will complete. Whew, okay. Impressive. I'm impressed, Bobby. I'm impressed. What did it cost us? It was 2 Ravagers for 6 Marines, 3 Reapers, and 3 SCVs. It was a decent trade here for Starkiller. It was a decent trade, but he was hoping for more. He was hoping for more damage. Dolan able to saturate his natural, get it up and running. This time his economic position is much stronger for Dolan, and we are easing our way into that 4-racks. That 4-rack Stim timing is on the horizon, and Starkiller, despite killing those workers, which was nice and all, is vulnerable to this. Oh boy. Is going to be vulnerable. As Dolan does get supply blocked, unfortunately. We have 2 more racks, sorry, 2 more depots finishing up. Starkiller following this up with double Evo chambers, getting to a 3rd base. And Dolan, does he wait? I imagine we're going to be waiting for combat shields before we push out. The Overlord of Starkiller will confirm. Until it falls. Yeah, roaches are amassing for Starkiller, cutting worker production at 39. And does Dolan move out? Or do we try to wait and bide our time until medevacs pop out instead? Now we're pushing. We are going to be pushing. And how much do we have to defend? We have 12 roaches, 2 ravagers, a decent army. Upon seeing this, I'm sure that Dolan isn't going to commit. He may just dance with the army, back off, and buy time until medevacs arrive. That's what we saw previously. We'll see. Yeah, so the Roach Ravager is in position. Pick off 1 Marine. A 2nd as well. Dolan has to back off. Does have to retreat. Oh, a bit of a miss rally. We are forced to stim. Catch 2 roaches, not bad. Did I say 2 roaches? We're gonna get 3, 4. Oh my god. Yeah, we take the fight, and a brutal trade here for Starkiller. But the Wiles, they take down 1 Marine. Starkiller will hold on. Does cost him a good chunk of roaches. That was 12 roaches for 20 Marines. Not a bad trade for Dolan, trading up mainly minerals for gas. And behind this, he's pulling back and getting ready for that next step. Medevacs soon to arrive. Tanks, 3rd CCs on the way. We go. So we are selling in. We have 1-1 on the way. Whew, and the game will continue. We can calm down, Bobby. We can calm down. Dolan going to be reinforcing. Their TC almost done. And from here, Dolan, he's just going to bide his time here with his tanks. Going to build up back at home, going for drop play. Starkiller doesn't have that much anti-air, so he is a little bit vulnerable to these drops. Has mainly his army here at the 3rd. The natural and the main base a little bit more exposed. But, okay, we are rallying over at least a little bit. Have some roaches in position. Just the 1, though. Yeah, Roach going to go down. We can even go for the Roach Warren. Yeah, he sees it. He goes for it. He goes for the dive. Roach Warren is going to be shut down. Not a bad pickoff here for Dolan. Shut down the Roach Warren. We get 4 drones. Dolan backing up. And now Starkiller, he won't be able to actually make any more roaches here. Is in a rough position. Yeah, he's just now droning. Roach Warren's being rebuilt. Dolan going for a secondary drop. Double drop on one end, double drop on the other. are going in. And Starkiller is able to keep up, at least in the main base. Can we go for another snipe with the Roach Warren? Uh-oh. No shot. Here we go for the queens. We go for the queens. Go for the Ravagers. A second queen going to be going down as well. Oh, no, barely not. Does survive. Ah, damn. I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. We snipe another queen. And Dolan trying to pull apart his opponent, getting another queen here. No anti-air, nothing to stop the Medivacs. Target firing as many drones as we can. And Dolan does take a worker lead. Up in workers, up in economy. Jobs coming in once again. This shouldn't be enough to break Starkiller, but it's just keeping him pinned back. And Dolan is getting ready for his eventual tank push. Actually, getting into a 4th CC. Never mind. 4th CC on the way. Dolan just building up towards a longer game. Meanwhile, Starkiller, he's maxing out. And if you notice, Starkiller is cutting workers at 51. That is under 3 base saturation. And Starkiller, he's maxing out. Yeah, he's all in. Starkiller at this point completely all in, one way or another. Looking to end the game. And Dolan, are we ready for this? We have 2 tanks on the high ground. Sorry, 3 tanks on the high ground. Decent SimCity 4th tank has arrived. Dolan down in supply. But this is inflated for Starkiller. Ravagers morphing in. Dolan racing back home. No bunkers. Bear that in mind. So we don't have the best defensive setup. It's not going to be an easy hold. Their depots on the way. And we collapsed in. The tanks are exposed. Yeah, we're going for the northern tanks. At the same time, the main army on the right-hand side is being dealt with. But that's 2 tanks going down. Dolan can trade well here. We still have 2 more tanks in the back line. Getting a lot of shots off. More tanks have arrived. And Dolan, yeah, he's shutting this down. He will clean up the army. We step on forward. We file down some Medivacs, but the Roach army, it crumbles before the bio. Dolan, he cleans up the Roach force. And Starkiller, what do we have left? We don't have an economy. We have 44 drones. We were completely all in. It was all or nothing for Starkiller. And he can't keep pushing. I mean, he has nothing left. He's expanding. Oh, God. Now he's joining, now he's expanding, but it looks like Dolan, he's weathered the storm. And if he ever does move out, Starkiller, he just has so little to deal with this. So little left over. Amassing up whatever he can with what little he has. But the problem is that Starkiller, he didn't touch the economy. Like, the worker count was just left untouched. Now we have a 4th, we're muling. 5th CC on the way. Dolan just securing himself at this point. It denies the 4th. Does deny the 4th base, dropping back into the natural, catching more Ravagers. And at this point, Dolan is just pulling Starkiller apart. And will eventually build up towards that push. Starkiller is holding his own, but again, because of our low worker count, we just cannot maintain ourselves in a longer game. We're not going to be able to keep up. As here we go. This is the moment we were waiting for. The unsiege. The army just completely unsieges. And Dolan, he's moving out. He's moving out with the death bull of a Terran army. Starkiller keeping up with Roach Ravager, but again, he has inflated supply. So really down in army compared to Dolan. Armies do clash. Tanks yet to siege. Oh, the hot pickup. Let's go. Would you pull away? Dolan caught unsieged. Starkiller taking the best fight he could have hoped for. Forcing back the army, the tanks, they're in the air. And they need time to siege up. Oh, as we do have them here on the high ground. The tanks, they will siege. And massive tank shots go up. Yeah, the Roach army melts. Yeah, once the tanks are in position, we just shut down the Roaches. And Dolan holds. But this at least buys time for Starkiller. You know, he forces back the army, forces the siege. But there's still no fourth base. There's still no fourth inside. There's still no economy. Starkiller, he did everything he could to hold on there, but again, we're just surviving, we're not really living. It's kind of the way to put it here. As Dolan once again falling back on drop play. His win condition is just deny the fourth. Deny the fourth over and over again. That's all we need to do. We clean up the roaches. Does cost us a tank. Trying to gain ground. Distracting the main army. Double drop into the natural. Starkiller somewhat in position. The Milestone connect. We pick off more Ravagers. And Dolan just going for almost like death by 1,000 cuts here. As drops, they just keep coming in, pulling Starkiller apart. Forcing a cancel in the fourth. And here we go, the second move out for Dolan. Once again, we have the Mass on Siege. This time, Starkiller, he has that much less to defend. Looking at the units tab here, we have 29 Roaches, only 3 Ravagers. It's an army, don't get me wrong, but it still pales in comparison to what Dolan has. As we are pushing in, Dolan taking a 5th. We don't even need a 5th base, but why not? Stimming on forward. Tanks they siege up. They're going to be focused down. I mean, a rough position for those tanks, but we didn't even need them. The reality is we didn't even need the tanks. We stim, and we win, papi. As Dolan is making his way into the grand finals. GG, well played. Good luck gets called, and Dolan will take the series 3-1, advancing on to those finals. GG. GG, well played. Once again, a very, very intense early game, especially with Starkiller maxing out on 44 drones. That was crazy. It was a crazy max out for Starkiller, but it was one and done. You know, he was all in with that push when he did move in towards the third base, and with the end of that attack, with the failing of that push, I mean, there was just nothing really left there for Starkiller. He was hoping that maybe Dolan would overextend or maybe get caught on siege. That was the hope, that was the goal for Starkiller. Alas, did not pay off in the end, or did not work out in such a way, and we won't see an ace match. GG, well played. Dolan will take the series, and we have our finals. We have our 2 finalists. It's going to be Dolan versus Rob in a best of 7. In a best of 7 grand finals. Oh boy, and I'm ready. I'm ready for the chaos. I'm ready for the nonsense. We saw so much from Rob previously. We saw a lot of 4-gate Blinkstalker aggression. We saw a lot of proxy Stargate into Void Ray. And I'm sure that's merely only the tip here. The tip of what Rob has to offer. Likewise, we haven't really seen that much aggression out of Dolan so far. I'm sure we're going to be seeing that as well. Let's go. Let's go. As it sounds like our players need a couple of minutes here. Our players need some time to prepare, to get ready, get their videos going, and get ready for those finals. So we might be going on a short break. Just catching up with the chat. Catching up, man. Starkiller effectively on 2 bases, pretty much. It was a, he was completely all in. I do appreciate though that Starkiller made a series out of it. He did fight back, and it wasn't a 3-0 by any means. So I do appreciate it. Here we go, as we are getting ready for those finals. Beautiful. Until then, we're going to be going on a short break. And when we return, we will have that best of 7. Until then, hope you'll enjoy. What's the prize? 600 USD plus. Alright, to actually expand on that, if you're in the chat, if you want to help support the NA scene, the NA region, if you want to help support Cheeseadelphia, ! Matcherino. Matcherino in the chat. You will get a link to the Matcherino page where you can help boost the prize pool if you so wish. You don't need to by any means, but a shout out to Kami in the chat actually. Oh my god, I say in the chat. We did actually get a $25 donation to the prize pool. So thank you so much. Big shout out to that one contributor in the chat. Do appreciate